Welcome, everybody, to the second to last episode of the I Went Outside Today podcast. This is one of your three hosts, Chris.
This is Cheryl.
I'm Sydney. I did the thing.
And for once, Sydney actually did a thing that she wanted to do.
I did.
Sydney went to, do you want to say it, Sydney?
Paranormal Cirque.
And I have the description for the event here. Slow down so you can take it all in, but if you scare easily, you might want to run, as we welcome you into this new world of Paranormal Cirque. Under this clown castle, the black and red big top tent, acrobats of the air, illusionists, freaks, mysterious creatures, and all the elements that make one think of a normal circus, but that of normal has very little. A new show with breathtaking implications, always poised between fun and the most uninhibited fear that will transport you to a dark world inhabited by creatures with incredible circus art abilities. A crazy yet fun fusion between circus, theater, and cabaret in perfect harmony with the evolution of a show that brings you back to when we dream and when we had nightmares and fantasies. Scare, encompass, amuse, and surprise are the ingredients for a mixture of emotions impossible to forget. This is truly a paranormal experience like no other.
Did you have mixed emotions?
I was just really excited to go to the Scary Circus,
Okay.
which is what I've been calling it.
Fair.
Easier to remember.
I want to confront you right now. You went to the Paranormal Circus.
Mm-hmm.
Yet Cheryl and I have tried many times to get you to go to other paranormal things, and you flat out refuse.
Oh, I like circuses.
So had we found a haunted circus, you would have gone?
This one wasn't haunted, though. I think paranormal is a little bit misleading. It was just like spooky, and there was a lot of PVC and demonica boots and that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So like a kink circus.
No, not like a kink circus, but
Okay.
like a scary circus.
Okay.
Like a goth circus?
Like a goth circus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no paranormal, no ghosts.
There were some zombie-themed dances.
And you obviously then weren't the only person dressed in all black.
Yeah, actually, it was pretty funny because I was meeting with my friend, and normally I just go, just look for the person in all black. That's me. And then I kind of looked around, and I was like, that is not going to work. We're going to have to find out where each other is. And she was in all black, too, so it was hard to find her, too.
You should have wore orange.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it. Well, I didn't know. I didn't think about it. I don't own orange to wear. But, so it wasn't like a ghosty circus. It was just like a scary circus. It reminded me of, did you guys ever go to Demonica?
No.
I don't even know what that is.
It was like this variety act at the Starlight Room that they used to do every year. And it was just like, they had people that put needles in their face and like sword eaters and like fire and like dance acts. So that's what it reminded me of. And I used to love going, I think it was called Demonica.
Okay.
I used to love going to that. Like it was my favorite thing. So then that's when I looked at clips of the circus, it looked like that. So that's why I wanted to go. I didn't care that it said paranormal.
So if you had not heard of it and I went to you and said, we're sending you to the Paranormal Circus.
I would have been like, no.
So then you just basically say no to anything Chris asks you to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for coming out to the cult episode last time then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't tell me what we were doing, so that's why I was there.
Cheryl's going to take notes for our final episode.
Yeah.
Just an episode of sitting in fire trucks at Honky Horns.
I don't know. I'll have to continue updating my list.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the paranormal part didn't faze me because I didn't think that it was going to be like a... I think they just called it that for it to be scary.
How did you hear about it?
Facebook advertising.
Oh, I'm surprised it wasn't the Yogan Fruits. They were giving away discount codes.
I don't get any advertisements for yoga and fruits.
No, I'm talking about at the... Like, I went to Yogan Fruits the other day and they had discount codes for the Paranormal Circus.
Oh. Yeah. I did get a discount for it because I just Googled Paranormal Cirque promo code.
Yep.
And the code actually worked. And I was like, oh my God, that's so exciting. So I got us like a better tier than I was expecting to get because I got a discount.
Nice.
But I'm nowhere near a Yogan Fruits, which is sad because I fucking love Yogan Fruits. It's really good.
It is.
But yeah, I just saw it on Facebook advertising and I was like, that looks like Demonica. I want to go to that.
And you told your friend they have to go with you?
Yeah.
Fair.
That's how friendships work with me. We're doing what I want to do.
This is why we're not friends, because
I
we
even
tell
know-
you what you're doing.
Exactly. I even told her, I was like, I'm picking the seats, so I hope you're not picky because I am. Like, I just wanted to try and get the very best seat for money that I could get.
I see.
Based on other things you and I have gone to, it was in the back corner away from everyone, right?
That's not my circus seating. That's my going to stuff where people can talk to us. For the circus, I want to get as close as I can, but where people will not interact with me. So you got to find that line and try and figure out, you know, I don't want audience participation. But I want to see everything and be like pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about trying to find that spot. So I painstakingly picked out our seats that I felt was the best seats for the amount of money that I wanted to spend.
This sounds complicated.
It was. And it went on for like a couple days. And then I told her, I was like, I booked it. It's locked in. And then they emailed me and they were like, we're bringing a different tent. And we just shook up everybody's seats all willy-nilly. Deal with it. And I was like,
Because they were originally going to set up by the River Cree, weren't they?
when I looked at the advertisement, it was always by Westhampton Mall.
Yeah.
But they
Okay.
said, like, they're like, we are bringing a different tent from what we intended to bring. So the seating has changed and everyone is getting the same or better seating. And we ended up getting better seating. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So we were even closer than I planned for us to be, but not so close that I was concerned about audience participation.
Nice.
Yeah, which is a sweet spot for me. And then I had to wait and wait and wait for like 4 weeks to go to the Scary Circus.
Was
Which
that
is
really
a
hard?
long time.
Yeah.
But you're time blind.
Not for when I'm waiting for stuff, just for when I have to be on time. That's why I never do anything, because I don't make any plans, because I don't want to wait for stuff. I want to do something right now or never. But I got the tickets and waited, so
You did it.
I did it. And then when we got there, the very first thing we did is
Was there like a wandy thing to make sure you weren't carrying knives or chainsaws or anything?
no, they didn't check anything. And I was going to go get snacks to like smuggle them in from London Drugs, but London Drugs just fucking abruptly closed down all across Canada.
Oh, yeah. Do you know why?
No.
Oh, they were hacked.
Oh, are they coming back?
Eventually.
Okay. Annoying, though, because I needed snacks and they were not open.
Oh.
And then it was like, well, they'd probably check anyway. And they didn't check anything.
No.
I could have brought so many snacks.
Yep.
Which I had a good time, but the cotton candy was $15.
Whoa.
And I just couldn't get on board with it.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
$15 for cotton candy.
You know, you could have went to the gas station
For cotton candy?
For snacks.
for snacks.
I wanted like special snacks, not gas station snacks. Plus, I'm not going to pay the markup at the gas station.
Oh.
Continue.
Anyway, so we went and we had a little look at all the stuff, and it just was also cash only, and I haven't carried cash since 1994. So we skipped on that, and then we went over to take some selfies in this like graveyard area that was all spooky, and we're doing that, and this like scary clown guy comes up and is like, you want a picture? I was like, yeah, let's like get a picture. And then he just puts his fucking hands around my neck, like to throttle me, like jokingly, but I was like, that's so forward. Maybe I'm like,
And then it was true love.
Jesus, maybe I'm like too progressive or too to the left, but I was like, that's crazy to just like, you don't know who's been
Did you have to
strangled by
sign a waiver?
monsters. No.
Like when you bought the tickets?
No. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't read the terms of service. Who knows what I agreed to?
Cheryl and I did a haunted maze once, and we had to sign a waiver that we were okay by being touched.
Okay,
And then
well-
they carried me past the finish.
Someone carried you?
Yeah,
past
they
the
picked
finish?
him up and
He was an
carried
even
him.
bigger man than me.
Yeah.
I think he was like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
I don't do haunted stuff, but I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, that was pretty
That's
fun.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It was very nice being carried. I
Oh,
haven't
yeah?
felt it
Yeah,
since like I was 8.
Yeah.
You're like, I feel safe. That's nuts.
Yeah.
So this friend, we have a history of not reading the terms of service because we went to Vegas when we were 21 and we were super hammered, and we went to the Goratorium, which was the permanent haunted house built by Eli Roth. And I remember they told us it was an exhibit, and then they made us sign waivers, which I didn't read because I was very intoxicated. And I just like signed it all away, and I was kind of like glimpsing, and I was like, why would it tell us not to punch anyone? Like, it's just an exhibit. Like, it's not clicking at all. So it's not even the first time we've accidentally done a haunted house, because after we got out of the little graveyard, it takes you on this whole like little cheeky maze, and all these people are, it's not like super jump scare, but it's like a little haunted house thing that leads you into the circus. And I was like, why does this keep fucking happening to us? Like, could someone in this duo like read the room? Because we just keep ending up in haunted houses together. So that was quite funny. But yeah, they had, it's sort of like a dark Edmonton thing. They had people walking around, like running around with hatchets and scary scary masks and things.
Any monsters?
I swear to God, someone from the Krampus Walk was there because it was like the exact same like horns and then like fur face and then like open mouth, like
With the forked tongue?
no, there's no forked tongue.
Okay.
But I swear to God, they were in the Krampus. So I was like, did they like hire local people that, or
Did they
let them
wave to you
volunteer?
and they're like, hello, sir?
No, they didn't wave to me or know my name. So yeah, that's the spooky little entrance. Then we went in and found our seats, and it's all set up like a circus, but scary and spooky. And I feel like I smoked half a fucking pack of cigarettes from the fog and all that. Just
How
breathing all
scary
that
and
in.
spooky.
Was it
Like
like
medium.
was it like Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas style?
What did it look like?
No, it was like the set was like a broken down kind of castle.
Okay.
And like lightning and different lights and
cool.
fog and like lots of red
Like
light.
Germanic or Scottish castle or
I don't know the differences. I don't know the rules of the castles. They were going for a castle vibe.
You just want
models of castles.
I don't know.
You just want a turret house. You don't know anything else about castles.
Yeah, just the turret is the
Okay.
part I like. It's not that deep for me. But I thought it was funny they're using all this red light because that's literally what I used to go to sleep. So that's like my soothing.
So you woke up when they were packing up the tent.
Yeah, and that was the end of the whole experience. Thank you for listening to this week's episode.
Uh-huh.
No, we had to like shimmy into our seats. There wasn't as many like row section. It was like maybe 30 seats altogether. So
Okay.
that was the only thing that kind of sucked because usually they split up seat sections so that you're only going past like one or two people.
Mm-hmm.
These were like so tight
So
to
they're
walk
trying
through.
to cram you all in together.
Trying to smash us all in. We had to walk past like so many people. Had to like, stand up and get out of the way, that kind of thing. But we did it. And
Would this have happened if you were allowed to choose your own seat?
no, because I picked us more seats on the end of a row so that we wouldn't have to shimmy past people. This is why I have a complicated seat picking process.
I see.
That takes days.
Days. Because you have to have a preliminary look and then have a think about it.
I'm surprised that you ever get tickets to anything because depending on what you're
That's why
going
I
to
don't.
see. Oh, okay.
Listen, this is my seat picking process. Worry about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
But-
ever worry that your over preparing is taking away from your ability to handle things as they come?
No. Because if you just prepare, then you'll never be caught with your pants down. Now I lost my train of thought. Now I forget everything.
So
You shimmied past people.
30 people.
We had to shimmy past so many people. And then when we sat down, she told me that it was really hot. She's been to a different circus.
Okay.
I guess I just do this at the mall, but it wasn't a scary circus that she went to before.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, the tent is really hot. So that's why I wanted to go and get us drinks before, like waters. But then all that went to shit because London Drugs got hacked.
Yep.
Whatever. I wondered if they got hacked.
Yep.
But like Sobeys got hacked and they kept trucking along. So like selfish.
Yeah, I don't know the entire what went down with London Drugs. All I know is that if you look it up, they talk about how they were had a cyber attack.
Ransomware?
I don't know.
They've
Doesn't
been
say.
shut down since last Sunday.
Yeah.
So
It was me. I'm kidding. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I'm going to pull out that quote there and then email it to them.
Anyway, we just shimmy past all the people, and then when we sat down, I didn't think that this tent would be that hot because it was only like 14 degrees outside, but it was so hot, and I was like, fuck, I really should have got us waters or something. Now we're just gonna dehydrate and die.
Now those gas station waters looked a little
Looking
bit more
pretty
appealing.
good. But once they turned off all the lights, then it was totally fine and like super comfortable. So I think the lights were just really hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then when the lights went out, what was the first thing?
This like scary guy talking, being like, "Welcome to the scary circus." That's not what he said.
Yes, it is.
Your seat's over there, Sydney.
It was like the whole like prepare to be delighted and amazed, but scary. Like, "Brah."
Stop fidgeting.
And then I did fidget a lot because we're like bucket seats. We're like fucking hell on my back. I'm 1,000 years old, and that bucket seat really hurt. Do seats ever hurt your back?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like going kind of up my whole back and my shoulder by the end of it.
Yeah.
Then they had this like faceless kind of grim reaper guy be like fucking buckle up. And then the lights go out, and then the first act came on. It was like a dance act.
Okay.
With a guy doing like
Waltz?
like the tricks on the pole. So like the story is that like
Oh,
zombies.
you saw a pole dancer.
Kind of. Like the story is that like zombies are chasing him, and then he like scales the pole to get away from them and does all like the sideways moves and like upside down, like all crazy stuff. And that made me feel a bit shit about signing up for one yoga class because we're not on the same fitness level, that's for sure.
I mean, I would like to point out that he does that as a profession and you do it as a hobby, so you're never going to be on the same level as him.
I disagree. He was doing it to you, Sydney.
It was like at me, right? Like I felt threatened and upset and fat, but that's fine.
And that's what he wanted.
I think it is what he wanted. It's like she'll feel chubby after that. That'll make her feel real good about her birthday pie. So. So that was the first one, and then he gets like eaten by the zombies. So you're like, oh no, he's been eaten.
So did he fall to get eaten by the zombies, or were the zombies climbing the pole?
He fell because there's like a trick that he's doing where they'll be at the top, like horizontal to the ground.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I think he was using his legs. I forget which move this was, but then he'll drop really fast and stop like right before the floor. It's very stressful to watch.
Did the zombies dance eat him?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's real fun.
Can you demonstrate? Wait, let me get my
No.
camera out.
No. So that was like the first act, and then they cut all the lights, and I was like leaning over to my friend to make a fitness joke, like, oh, I feel real shit about my fitness. And then
He was doing that at me.
just like a loud, like, so it's pitch black, and then there's just like a loud, like, vroom kind of noise. And then I like grabbed her because it startled me, and because we've been chased around by chainsaws before, and I'm not about that chainsaw life. Like, if the lights had come on and there was fucking chainsaws, I would have been out. I don't appreciate being chased by chainsaws.
What about electric turkey carver?
Any blade with a motor, don't chase me with it.
Okay.
It's not for me.
So a fan won't cut it either.
No fans.
Okay.
No fans. But specifically chainsaws, having been chased through the Goratorium by a large man with a chainsaw, not a fan. And then the lights came on, and it was a motorcycle. So
What about a little girl with a chainsaw?
No chainsaws. None. Zero. So it wasn't chainsaws, so we stayed for the rest of it.
Well done.
And that was like their tightrope kind of one. So it was like a motorcycle on a tightrope, and then a girl was like underneath swinging, doing tricks, aerial tricks and that kind of thing. You kind of had to be there. It's more exciting if you can see it.
You wanted to do this episode.
Yep.
I did want to do this episode. And then I saw more stuff.
What? That's not very descriptive. What kind of more stuff?
What happened after that?
Did you just stare at more people's pants?
I did stare at some pants.
Okay.
Were there any animals like at a circus?
No, you're not allowed to have animals in the circus anymore.
Like, was there like a goth elephant or a goth donkey?
No, PETA made everyone stop having animals in the circus, which fair enough.
Did you see any people dressed up as animals?
The Krampus guy.
Okay.
Any goth dogs?
Mm-mm.
Dogs love being in a circus.
Any furries?
Not that I saw.
Okay.
And then, so I was Googling clips of it, and they're different, like at every
Show.
place they go to.
Okay.
If they can have different equipment. So they didn't have some of like the super cool tricks that I've seen at like other ones, because maybe the setups were too big for what they were allowed to do here. But I think after that they had a lady that came out and did aerial dancing, but she was getting strung up by her hair, which
Okay.
was fucking crazy.
Can you do that?
No, I think my hair would break. Also, I don't think it's very good for your neck.
Probably not, no.
No.
Maybe
But-
some of it was back hair, so it was distributed.
I looked. So when I go to stuff like this, like when they cut the lights and stuff, I'm always like looking for like the stagehands that are like running around to like see what they're doing and what's
You
want
want to break the illusion.
I want to break the illusion. I'm like, where are they? What are they setting up next? So I'll try and find like if I can see.
You want to see if they're pointing at you and talking to
I
each
just want
other?
to know how stuff works. I just want to know what they're up to. So I checked like her whole, what I could see of her body. Like she didn't have any wires or anything. They were fully flinging her around by her hair.
No back hair.
No back hair, no wires that I could see. And I checked. So she had a little aerial dance, and then they had like when they were doing really elaborate setups, they had someone come out and do like lip syncing to distract us, but I saw what they were setting up behind her because I'm on top of it.
You're being sneaky.
Yeah. And so basically the whole first half was like acrobatic aerial kind of stunts, and then the second half was like disappearing kind of stuff.
Okay.
Magic.
Yeah, magic.
How easy is it to do magic, though, when you're in a circus? Like, because it has to be big props for the people at the back to be able to see things.
Yeah, so it was like big disappearing
Okay.
type props. In the first half, when they were doing different acrobatic stunts, one of them was slacklining.
Mm-hmm.
So they had the guy come out and do all the slacklining. I don't know if you know what slacklining looks like, but
No.
it's like tightrope walking, but slack. So it's harder
Okay.
because they have to like balance. And so he's
Loose rope walking.
it's really hard to do because the line is slack. So your balance, like you can see them like shaking compared to like tightrope walkers because you're having to have so much more stability. So he is flipping upside down, doing all this crazy stuff. And then someone hands him a unicycle and he gets into like his position to get on the unicycle. And then he kind of like slips before he gets on the unicycle. And so he jumps off, like kind of bails out.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, like, is this part of it? Or was that like a mistake?
Right.
Or I thought that he was trying to gas us up like, oh, I can't do it. And then like he would come out like swinging.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because the audience, like you can hear them kind of being like, oh, like when he's falling. And then someone just goes, you can do it. And then it was just like,
Aww.
That
a
was
lot of
nice
people
of
were
you to
like-
give them encouragement.
it wasn't me, but people were like, you got it. Like it was just a really nice audience of people that just like wanted him to get it. And every time he would get back on, because he tried about 3 or 4 times, everyone would cheer and clap and be like so supportive. And he couldn't do it. He didn't land it. So I don't know if they set up his line wrong or what went on, but
I mean, maybe it was the encouragement. Some
Maybe.
people need the opposite so they can show
the
people wrong.
negativity.
Yes.
So we should have screamed, you can't do it.
Yes. Or
And
both.
then
then
he would have
imagine-
done it better than anyone.
But imagine if we screamed, you can't do it, and then he couldn't do it. Like it would just hurt his feelings.
Sydney's projecting on the random guy at the circus again.
Maybe. This was a different random guy at the circus.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, he didn't. But I thought the whole time that like it was gonna lead up to like, oh, he could do it all along.
Yeah.
And he just had to believe. But no, he couldn't do it.
Aw, poor guy.
So I don't know. Maybe the line was the wrong amount of slack or something.
What would you say the demographic of the crowd was? Like, was it mostly adults or were there some kids there?
There wasn't like a lot of young kids.
Okay.
But like teenagers, adults.
Yep.
That kind of stuff.
Okay, good.
Any old timers?
He has some old people.
Anyone from Eckankar?
Not that I noticed. But it was big and dark. So. And then we had a 15-minute intermission.
What was the music like?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
During the 15-minute intermission, did you share your dream about the static smoking monster with anyone else?
No.
Oh.
That's just for me.
Okay.
And your podcast audience?
Of like who?
6 million people?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 6 million listeners now?
I mean, we're canceling when we're on top of the world.
Yeah.
That's they say get out when you're on top.
Yeah.
So
We're leaving them wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
that's the way. No, during the intermission, I was just like, get me the fuck out of this chair. It was like not very comfortable.
Were you stuck to your seat in this hot tent by now?
No, because it cooled off once they cut the lights, and then it was thermally adequate.
So then intermission was about how long? Like, other than getting up and...
15 minutes.
Okay. And did you get any drinks? Did you get any food at that point?
No, we're just like, I kind of thought maybe we should get a drink or something for the experience of it, but it was so fucking expensive. And I'm just cheap.
Fair.
And like the lines were a bit long, and I thought, oh, maybe it'd be nice to have a slushie, but it was in like a light up cup, and then I'm gonna have to carry this fucking cup around that I
That's
don't
fair.
really want. You
No.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they had people even carrying stuff around, but they couldn't really get to like where we are because there wasn't much division in the for them to like walk up the sides, right? Because there's like 20 seats in a time. So after the intermission, we kind of got back to our seats early because I didn't want to have to shimmy past a million people and make it all weird. And then they did Not like magician stuff, illusionist stuff is more what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
There was, like, before they got into all that, this whole thing where this guy was, like, dressed up as a nun, and he was, like, running around the audience. Kind of like
Captain Jack Sparrow.
he was kind of like a mime, but, like, not. Like, he was making noises, but not, like, talking. It's very difficult to explain. But he had, like, a whole bit where he got a bunch of audience members to, like, come to the circus stage, and he made them do, like, a little, like, skit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do when he brought you to the stage?
I was, like, shrinking in my seat, and I was like, thank God we're not sitting in the front row. So it wasn't us. It was 3 guys and 1 girl. And they did, like, a little audience participation scene, which was fine. It wasn't my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Would you have done it better?
no. Because I would have been fidgeting. They all stood very still, and I was like, how?
I told you fidget.
I have the attitude. It's not my fault. But, like, like, this one guy was just, like, standing on stage, like, so still for, like, 15 minutes.
Good for him.
Fucking crazy. That guy that was dressed up as the nun, he came back out as the illusionist guy in, like, a very different costume. And I was like, oh, that's nuts. And they did, like...
He's a master of disguise.
He is a master of disguise. But I was trying to look for, like, where he was, like, hiding the people that he would, like, make appear and stuff. And I couldn't get it. So I guess it must be real magic. But they put someone in... I lost my train of thought.
A box.
Yeah, but, like, a scary box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a Jack-in-the-Box clown?
A trunk.
No, like, just a scary box. Just like a scary metal box. And they'd, like, have their hands sticking out so that you
footlocker.
can see they're in there the whole time. And then they'd, like, grab a flag. And then the guy that's supposed to be in the box would appear on the other end of the flag.
Right.
And you're like, how do they do that? Because there was a hand there the whole time. So,
Nice.
great mysteries of
Yeah.
life. Yeah, and then they did some other stuff. Questions?
Is that it for the circus?
No, they did other stuff. They did, like, there was a box with blades.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
Okay.
So
They
they
put a-
showed you this box full of knives and then went from person to person showing it off.
No, it was like the Iron Maiden situation. So it was like a box that you could see into.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, a big
Stabbies?
like a big steel thing with a bunch of spikes that you could shove into the box.
Mm-hmm.
So they shoved a lady in there, and then they shoved all the spikes in, and then they opened it, and you could see all the spikes going all the way through the box, but no lady.
Was there a lot of blood coming out?
Nope.
I would have hooked up a blood machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then they close the box door, and then they take the spikes out, and then they open the door, and there's a lady. Crazy stuff. So I don't know where they hid the ladies.
She just stayed inside while things were pushed through her body.
No, she didn't.
Next time you'll just have to volunteer to help out with the magic show.
Yeah, Sydney.
I don't want to be put in a box, though.
But then you'll know how the trick is done.
I was thinking I would just Google it. But yeah, lots of stuff like reappear, disappear was a big theme for the next like 20 to 30 minutes. And then they did like a big crazy stunt near the end where it was like a big Jaws of Life kind of thing. Like a...
Oh, they cut a man in half?
No, it was like a bear trap, but like man-sized. For like a man.
Okay.
And then they took the main illusionist guy and they strung him up by his feet, and he had to get out of a straitjacket and like jump off onto a mattress.
Instead of landing in the trap.
Yeah, because he had like a minute to escape before the bear trap would like smack on him.
Okay.
So, and he did it.
Good job.
Yeah.
Imagine if he didn't.
Well, I was kind of wondering. It was getting a bit close to the... It was getting a little tight.
So that was the big finale for the magic show.
No, there was more stuff after that.
Was the smoke machine affecting your memory?
Oh, I really feel like I smoked like half a pack. Like, I feel a bit after that.
Was it like right under your seat and blowing into your face the whole show?
Maybe.
I think it was.
Other stuff happened.
Was it spooky?
All of it was spooky.
Okay.
So, like, everyone is basically in, like, PVC underwear and just big boots, big goth boots, lots of black hair.
Sydney thinks underwear is spooky.
The big underwear is very spooky. The big illusionist guy had, like, vampire fangs in, and they introduced him by, like, wheeling out a coffin, and they had, like, a necromancer, like, bring him back to life, and then they lit his coffin on fire.
Nice.
Usually vampires don't need help with coming back to life.
He needed help, so...
Did you get scared at all?
No.
Oh. Not even
I
one.
spent a lot of time trying to like figure out who's who because
Okay.
you know everyone's gonna have like repeating roles.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, is that like the pole guy from the first thing? Is that the hula hoop girl? Like, who's that? That girl played 2 parts. I do a lot of that.
Okay.
So I wasn't scared at all.
Did you feel like you had the potential to get scared at any point?
No.
No.
Even in the spooky maze at the beginning?
That's where you have the most potential to be scared because
Mhm.
I don't fucking cop a jump scare. That's not for me. I don't like no jump scares.
So
So that was the most on edge of the
Mhm.
whole thing.
Fair.
what did you do after the magic show?
What did we do after the magic show?
How drunk were you, or were you consuming anything that would have affected your memory?
I didn't drink anything because everything was like $1 million.
Yeah.
What sort of edibles were you taking?
None. I think it was a dance number. I think that's what it was. There was like a big dance. And then after they all finished with Thriller.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Ah.
And it was very memorable, and everyone did a very good job.
Even you?
Even me. No, the whole cast. Because they did like a smaller dance number, and then they had a bunch of zombie creatures that were just like creepily lurking in the background, and like you can kind of barely see them through the fog and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the final number, everyone came out, and they did a huge like Thriller mix where everyone did a dance.
Nice.
And I felt like that was the least scary song of all the songs.
What's the most scariest song you ever heard?
Spider Notes.
I don't know that song.
No.
That's like notes for horror movies where they go, "Dun-dun-dun-dun."
That's not a song.
It's the scariest thing I ever heard.
It's the scariest song you ever heard.
I said what I said.
Songs have words.
Not all of them. That's wordist. And that was the end of the circus.
Ghostbusters. That was Sydney's scariest song.
No, it's not. I said the Spider Notes. What are we doing for time here?
8 minutes.
Really?
38. I just
gonna be a
wanted to
bit
see
short.
if you could believe.
Fuck.
It can be shorter.
It's like I'm running out of stuff to say. And yeah, I really forgot what happened at the end there. Harder to describe than I thought it was going to be.
So the drugs hit Sydney harder than she thought, and then she doesn't remember the end.
I didn't do no drugs. I told you it was the Thriller dance. I just forgot for a minute. I'm only human.
And so everybody left.
And then I went on TikTok after and I looked up like other Paranormal Cirques because I wanted to see if I could find other like bloopers. And someone almost fell off a big spinny wheel. That was the most exciting one.
Wow.
But then he rebalanced and he was fine. Because I kind of wonder like how many people hurt themselves and how well do they play it off? Like is it an obvious hurt or like do people...
Or how well are they playing that it looks hard and they're
Yeah.
almost not making it?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, like the hula hoop girl, looked like she was struggling a bit. Like she was shaking a lot. I think she was having a rough day. And the slackline guy was struggling a bit.
So would you recommend other people go to the Paranormal Cirque?
Yes, we should all go again right now.
I guess they're still there.
They're
Yeah.
still there. We could go and see it.
Even with the uncomfy chairs?
We'll bring a cushion.
Can you bring in your own cushion?
No one stopped anyone from doing anything. Like everyone was just like,
It's kind of refreshing.
no security, no searching. Like no one gave a single shit.
Nice.
The actors just throttle you. It's fine. Like it's just a fucking free for all.
More events should be like that.
Yeah.
I mean, really, how many terrible things happened before they were doing frisking before concerts? Not a whole lot.
No. What was your favorite part of the circus?
The journey we took along the way.
So the bus ride?
Friendship.
The Uber ride.
A really long bus ride with your brother.
No, I got a ride to the mall from my mom.
Oh.
So your mom took you to the circus. And that was the best part.
Worry about yourself. Well, she just dropped me off at the mall because I didn't have time to do anything, so I was fucking starving. So I went to Opa to get a pita and a chicken skewer, and it cost $10.
Yes.
That was not my favorite part.
Oh.
Should have ate at the Circle K like I did that day.
Well, you were like hiding your chips in your pocket, and you look more suspicious than I think you thought you did.
I was just putting it in there because I was enjoying my Slurpee first.
Just carry a bag. Like, he's like cramming the chips in his inside pocket and like reaching into them. I was like, that's suspicious.
We all look suspicious.
I
and
don't look
yet,
suspicious.
not hungry.
Also not dressed in all black.
Worry about yourself. But okay, $10 for one chicken skewer and a pita. I used to eat those pitas at at Opa all the time when I was broke because they used to cost $2.
Yeah, none more.
Should have went to UPA.
Should have gone to UPA. So, my favorite part was... I really like dancing. I like the dancing numbers.
Okay.
The spooky dancing.
Can you demonstrate again?
Spooky dancing.
Sydney's doing jazz hands.
No, I'm doing zombie hands. This is jazz hands. This is zombie hands. You're a monster. And you're spreading disinformation because you mean it to be
jazz
harmful.
hands, palms up, zombie hands, palm down.
No, jazz hands are like palms facing inwards and a shake of the wrist. Like, this is jazz hands. Jazz hands. Zombie hands are like limp-wristed claw formation.
Are you sure you don't want me to film this?
Yes. I'm just saying, don't accuse me of doing jazz hands when I'm doing zombie hands. I don't appreciate it at all.
There's nothing wrong with doing jazz hands if you like dancing.
Jazz hands are fine.
What if you did one jazz hand, one zombie hand?
It looks offensive. It looks like I'm trying to flip someone off inside. I don't know. I think I like the disappearing stuff the best because I couldn't figure out what they were doing and I looked really hard. Like at one point he just had like a blanket and he was on top of a table and you could see under the table. Mm-hmm. And then he raised the blanket and 3 ladies appeared one at a time.
Nice.
Like, where were they hidden?
Are you going to go again if they come back?
Yeah, I would want to see a different show because I saw that they had like some really cool stunts online, but like I don't know, maybe they couldn't bring as much equipment here or something. Because I think this is an Italian circus, but they've been traveling all around the States. So. Okay. But some of the other shows they still had different stuff. So it's like, do they just show up in a town where they have big circus equipment from other stuff and then they rent? Like I don't know how all that works.
Sometimes they're trying to pick like the best venue that they can find. So they picked the West Edmonton Mall overflow parking lot, but maybe the tent that they brought was not as big.
There was a circus there last year too.
Yeah, that's the one my friend went to last year, but it wasn't a scary circus, so it wasn't as good.
But like one of the things, I mean, this is slightly off topic, but when Rammstein comes to Edmonton for like their concerts, our venues aren't big enough to accommodate all the pyrotechnics that they would use. So they have a different show because they can't set off all this fireworks and everything else that they would normally use.
Why don't they play stadium?
Because
sometimes they come in the winter.
Yeah.
They should just come in the summer. I could sort this out for them in like 2 minutes.
Well, get on it. Yeah, send them an email. Say, I've got your life figured out.
In the summer.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
You only have one more podcast to work on after this, and then you got all this free time to get Rammstein to come.
No, I don't want to do anything after this podcast. I just want to lay on the floor and have no obligations.
Whoa.
It's my dream.
Well, then you will never hear Sydney on our new podcast, I guess.
I might be on your new podcast. I don't want to feel left out. But you guys make me talk to so many people on this podcast, and I don't like it. This is my favorite event because we didn't talk to no one. We barely talk to each other. That's why Chantel's my best friend. See, this is just what it's like all the time.
I'm surprised you even know her name. Well, I think that takes us to the end of today's episode of the I Went Outside Today podcast.
I hope you enjoyed my vivid circus descriptions. I hope you feel like you were there with me in the circus tent.
I will direct all of your comments directly to Sydney so she can hear your critiques of her experience.
Don't talk to me. I don't like it.
And make sure you listen to us next month for our final episode of the I Went Outside Today podcast. When Sydney is finally free of going outside and can stay inside from then on.
Ever.
Until then, this is your host, Chris, signing off.
This is Cheryl signing off.
I'm Sydney. I did the thing. Bye.